What's going on, guys? You know who I am. So I'm going to change my name. I'm going to make it short. Just call me Junior. I'm thinking about changing my YouTube name. So anyway, I'm going to give some shout outs to a couple guys for my video. They commented on my video. The first person, Jackson Turner. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. And my brother-in-law, Kenny Long. Appreciate it too. Anyway, I don't know how long this video is going to be. So there's going to be a few things. Like, the main thing I'm going to do is go over Indiana gun laws because I've looked on YouTube and there's a couple videos. But other than that, no, they don't go through very much. So, pretty much what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go through all of them, all of it. What the requirements are. Indiana is a shall issue state. If you don't have a conviction or if you don't have a felony, you've never been in prison, never done anything wrong in your life, you will get an Indiana license. Non-resident people from Indiana or from somewhere else. But the main thing, if you're non-resident, you can get a 4-year limited permit, handgun permit. They will normally, I'm sorry guys, I'm looking at I got notes, but they'll normally require to have a business or property in Indiana. That's it. So if you live in, just say, Alabama, and you buy property here in Indiana, you can have an Indiana handgun permit. Pretty easy, right? Yeah, like I said, if you don't have a felony, never been in trouble, ever, you can get a license. But if you had, like, if you've been in trouble with, like, if somebody called on you about having a fight with your wife, with your girlfriend, and you go to jail, then you will not be able to get a handgun permit. Just like if you go to a mental hospital in Indiana, you are not allowed to have a handgun permit at all. They issue handgun permits at 18 or older. I got mine in 2011. And I've had it ever since. I bought my lifetime right off the bat. What else is there? You must be at least 18 years old. Must be a citizen of the United States. That's the requirement. Must be a resident of Indiana for lifetime. For a lifetime permit. License, non-resident can get it 4 years, like I said. The cost is $40, but that's for the 4 years. Now, if you want, when I got it, it was $150, or was it $100? I think it was $150. I think, but it wasn't too bad. For CCW license, active CCW right now in Indiana right now in 2019. There's 700,999,546 permit holders in Indiana right now. States that honor the Indiana permit are 32. States that honor, or Indiana that will honor ours, or will honor theirs, is 53. So, I don't know why that's the case, because that's stupid. If we honor your permit, you should have to honor ours. I'm talking to you, Illinois. Especially Illinois. You have to have a FOID card to buy a gun and ammo? Really? You only have to be 18 to buy a shotgun or long gun. So, really, I don't think if you don't honor our license, we don't honor yours, because there's a lot of people from Gary, Indiana, or from Chicago, Illinois, that goes over to Gary, Indiana to buy guns, because you don't have to you buy rifles or whatever. I guess that's part of the deal. So I don't think it's very good at all. It's all these gangbangs and stuff. It's stupid. I'm going to tell you the states that don't honor Indiana's handgun permit, and that does, and states that are residential permit only. So that's for just their state. So the states that don't on the East Coast is Minnesota, New Jersey, or New York State, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, District of Columbia. Those are on the East Coast. So in the Midwest, there's Nebraska, Illinois, New Mexico, which is southern, but anyway, that's still Midwest. And that's it in the Midwest. So in the West Coast, Washington State, Oregon, Nevada, and California. That doesn't surprise me. It shouldn't surprise anybody in the 2A community at all. So because all their laws and stuff come out of there is redundant. I drive, of course, you've seen the last video, I drive a truck. So trucks had to have DEF, which is it's for the exhaust. It's to burn all the crap out of it. It's nasty, but it's pretty much ammonia mixed with something else. But no, they're trying to get it out of California. They're trying to outlaw it because you have to regen the truck, or it will regen itself going down the road. If you're parked and you have to regen, which is in older trucks, then it will actually start fires because that's how hot it gets. So they're trying to outlaw it. But why did you have to do it before? It doesn't make any sense because there's nothing wrong with the trucks. Well, the emissions. Okay, what about the emissions? There's nothing wrong with the emissions. But anyway, I'm going to stay on point. What else is there? Places in Indiana that you cannot go if you have a handgun permit. And if you have a license outside state where you can't go into. In or out school property. Well, this is an exception. In or out school property locked in the vehicle is okay. I'm getting this straight from the Indiana website, the indiana.gov website. And I wrote this down because I don't have a computer or a printing machine or anything. So I had to write it down. So you can't go on a bus with it. Private school, Head Start, which is a thing here in Indiana. Preschool programs on a commercial or charter aircraft, which is pretty common sense. You don't bring a gun onto a plane unless you're a federal air marshal. And if you do bring a gun on the plane, you keep it locked in the bottom of the plane. If you're a law-abiding citizen, but that sometimes that doesn't happen. But what else is there? During annual state fair, you're not allowed to carry an Indiana State Fair. I mean, it makes sense, but it's still against my Second Amendment rights and everybody else that are law-abiding citizens that would like to carry, like at least concealed, but you can't. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, my state is a little bit freer than Illinois and California, but it's still pretty good, you know. Like shopping ports controlled by the Indiana Port Commission. That's pretty much common sense. A riverboat casino. Why would you bring a gun on a riverboat casino if you're not going to do anything? Or if you're going to do something bad, you will. But why would you? You're there to gamble, unless you're just going to shoot the place, which I don't not condone at all. So, you know what I'm talking to. Any place where the carrying of firearms is prohibited by federal law. So, banks, any federal banks, police stations, of course. What else is there? Post offices, federal buildings, state parks, which I'm going to mention here in a second. Federal off-limit areas, even with a permit. You can't carry with a permit. Federal courthouses. Why would you take a gun in the courthouse? The courthouse I live right down the street from, they have metal detectors. They're going to know if you have it or not. Any federal building, like I said, common sense. Any building owned, leased, or rented by the federal government. This includes buildings in national forest, which are property of the federal government. Federal law prohibits carrying in national forest, like I said. You don't need to be carrying a gun in national forest. To be honest with you. What are you going to do? Well, I hope you never, I think you should, but that's the law. I mean, what if, you've seen these movies. What if somebody decides to come out here and, if you're camping out in the middle of a federal national forest, if I don't know, that these scary movies are just same thing over and over again. The chick screams, she runs away, then she dies. So anyway. See, okay, the last video yesterday I made about Virginia, right? So I looked it up, and the VCDL, the Virginia Citizens Defense League, claims that 85 of Virginia's 95 counties in Virginia have voted for 2A sanctuary counties. And I got this from their website too. And I also found something on the National Guard, the Virginia National Guard, what they said, and what the Attorney General has said. The Virginia National Guard on Friday responded to the Democratic lawmaker after he suggested that it may be needed to enforce gun legislation. Anyway, Representative Donald from Virginia. You know who I'm talking about, because there's a lot of YouTubers out here, especially in the 2A community, have talked about this. Like Guns and Gadgets, he's really good. I like watching him. Iraq Veteran 8888, I love watching him too. Eric and Chad, you're watching this. Shout me out, please. Anyway, I doubt you're watching this, but okay. He's suggesting that the governor, Ralph Northam, I guess that's how you spell it. Nobody cares. Well, we do care, but that's tyrant. should be ashamed of yourself. But anyway, may have to nationalize the the National Guard to enforce the law. That's from the governor. Virginia National Guard, December 13th, 2019. This is what they said. From the Attorney General of Virginia, we have received multiple questions regarding proposed legislation for the 2020 Assembly in Virginia to imply the Virginia National Guard in a law enforcement role. This is another one from it too. It was right below it, literally. Virginia National Guard itself. We understand and respect the passion people feel for the U.S. Constitution and the Second Amendment rights. These are quotes. This is what he said. Well, what he also said this too, but this is a quote. What I'm getting ready to tell you. We will not speculate about the possible use of the Virginia National Guard, and that was at 9:50 a.m. December 13th, 2019. And everybody knows that the gun rally in Virginia is January 20th of 2019. So that's all the notes I got. Because I know I went on a tangent yesterday. My dad, he kind of gave me some good advice. So he told me I need to think about what I like, actually write down stuff, which I did, and stay on a point. And I wish I didn't. So I apologize. Actually, I do, but I don't. Because I was angry yesterday at what's going on. Like I said, I thank God I live in a free state. Unlike Illinois and California, if legislation in Virginia does what it's going to do, and I guarantee they're going to pass that, I feel sorry for you guys. I really do. And the only people that you can blame is yourselves, because you should have been openly you should have been actually at the polls and voted to get those people out of office. I'm sorry, but it's your fault. Indiana will never be Democratic, ever. It won't, because there's too many counties in Indiana. I live in Greene County, southern Indiana, and it won't. Like if legislation in Indiana tries to do that, no cop I've ever talked to. My uncle used to be a conservation officer 36 years. He talked to everyone every police officer, conservation officer he ever knew. They said they would not enforce those laws. Because in my county, there used to be two. My uncle and another conservation officer, which I'm not going to say his name, out of respect for him. And they would not enforce those laws. And I agree with that. Why would you try to take everybody's rights away? It doesn't make any sense. So, that being said, I hope you guys actually get your point across to them. Like, tell them that, and peacefully do it. Tell them that we're not going to take your crap at all. And we will not enforce those laws at all. What did I say? What was the county number? I said 85. Oh, what was that? Hold on a second, guys. I'm trying to look for it. La-da-do-do-do. Anyway, yeah, it's 85 of Virginia's counties out of 95. So 85 of those counties are Republican counties, are two-way sanctuary counties. It should have never got to this point. That's the point I was trying to make yesterday. It should have never gotten to this point. I'm ashamed, to be honest with you. I am. So, now, you guys, okay, so I'm going to ask you right now, please like, share, and subscribe, please. Thank you. If you want to see more of this content about different things, like what's going on in your state or whatever, I can look it up for you and let you know. But yeah, so just let me know what you want me to talk about, because I'll talk about anything. So that being said, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.